What up, peeps? It's your super sketch artist, Antonio, back again. And this time I am reviewing the new Superman trailer from James Gunn and DC Studios. Shout out to them for making something that looks amazing. Now, anyone who knows me knows I'm a huge Superman fan. Huge Superman fan. Love Superman. My last name is Clark. I'm a veteran, so my drill sergeant used to call me Clark Kent. I didn't start buying my first piece of Superman merchandise until I was actually in AIT, which is where you learn your military job. And I bought my first Superman shirt, and I haven't looked back. The Superman, everything in my house and wherever I'm at. All the cars I've had have been Superman blue, all the things. So I love Superman. And I actually love all of the movies that he's been in. I love them because they're fun. This new one, the cool thing about it is the guy looks good, not only as Clark Kent, but also as Superman. I really love the fact that they show him saving people. They show him beat up. They show him, just existing in different ways that we might not have seen Superman exist in some of the other movies. The biggest part is him having Krypto. I know that's a big thing for a lot of people, and for someone like myself, I love the addition of Krypto. Krypto is such a huge part of the Superman mythos, so knowing that we get to see the Super Pup in there, I mean, they've made a Krypto Super Dog show. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Kevin Hart, they made the Super Pets movie. So Krypto is a huge thing in the Superman mythos. So to see him in live action, to see him, like, I thought they were going to do him just a little bit different, but he looks just kind of like my mom's old dog a little bit, named Mr. Bubbles. So rest in peace to Mr. Bubbles. But this Krypto is going to sell a lot of merchandise once this movie drops. Everyone's going to have their Krypto the Super Dog. I even have Krypto the Super Dog merchandise through the game that I play called HeroClix. They've been made a few times. They just recently made him again, so I know that I'm going to be playing him a lot. But back to the movie, just seeing Krypto play a part in that trailer of him, just telling him, "Take me home." So him knowing where the Fortress of Solitude, which I'm sure I'm thinking we're gonna see the Fortress of Solitude, or he might mean take me back all the way to Kansas. But it looked like he was in snow, which is where the Fortress of Solitude is. So seeing Lex Luthor, that Lex has been played a bunch of different times by a bunch of different actors, and I think Lex is one of those characters that is hard for you to get wrong, in my opinion. So seeing just a little bit of snippet of Lex from what we saw, I absolutely love it. Seeing him with a gun means it's a good chance he might have kryptonite bullets. That's very Lex Luthor. It's very on brand for who and what Lex is. Him being upset and kind of beat up also just shows that there might be some really good conflict between him and Superman. Maybe after he shoots him with a kryptonite bullet, who knows? Another really cool thing about this trailer simply was the addition of other characters. The DC universe is so vast, and it has so many rich and diverse characters in it. So to see characters like Mr. Terrific, to see Metamorpho. I know some of you might have known who that was, but that was Metamorpho, or Rex Mason. To see Hawkgirl, love Hawkgirl. I didn't appreciate Hawkgirl enough until I started watching the Justice League Unlimited show, which she's a beast in there. If you haven't watched Justice League Unlimited, go back and watch that. Prep yourself for some of these characters that you're going to see. Mr. Terrific, seeing a character like Mr. Terrific show up, who in most people's eyes is like a B-list character in the DC universe, to see him show up means we can get maybe more Justice Society characters, which I absolutely love. But one of my favorite things about this trailer was seeing my man from Baltimore, Guy Gardner. I love Green Lanterns. Green Lantern is my favorite DC property. So to see a Green Lantern show up again and he looks as goofy as Guy is supposed to look. I know some of my friends have said, "Well, Antonio, he looks really goofy." He's supposed to look goofy. It's Guy Gardner. Guy Gardner looks goofy. Anyone with that bowl cut like that, and I'm glad that they gave him the bowl cut and not the more like modernized hairstyle that Guy has now. I'm glad that they gave him that goofy bowl cut to show how goofy of a character he is. Nathan Fillion playing him is going to be so good. I cannot wait. Overall, I mean, the other characters, that the Lex, the Jimmy, I mean, the Lois, the Jimmy, all the people at the Daily Planet, the color that you see in this trailer and the hope that you see in this trailer, from when the little boy was holding up the flag that had the Superman. Oh my goodness. I cannot wait, because that is what Superman is all about. Superman is a character that represents something bigger, doing something bigger for your fellow man. I wear Superman stuff all the time simply because Superman is a shining example of what you need to be doing, which is helping out your fellow man, standing up for the weaker of you. If you have strength, I know it's Marvel, but with great power comes great responsibility, and Superman embodies that. He could be a tyrant, and he is in certain universes that they have. We've seen it with Ultraman and in the Injustice, video game and comics, but seeing Superman be a symbol and a beacon of hope for people is something that personifies who Superman is. So I'm really excited to see what James Gunn does as a whole. Another thing I'm excited about, and that people have talked about and are going back and forth with, and some people are on this side, some people on this side, is the fact that James Gunn said, I don't care about canon. Now, as a comic book geek and a fandom since I was a kid, I care about the canon. And when I took a look at what that really meant to me, what does it do? I need to see a physical representation of the books that I've read over and over through the years? I do not. Once the Christopher Nolan Batman movies came out, I had to give that side of my fandom away. I had to say it doesn't have to be page for page. I know Batman didn't do that. I know Batman didn't say that. And in this case, when I saw Man of Steel, Superman has killed people before or unalived people before. So him taking out Zod in that movie made sense for the context of what the movie was, because it makes sense that you can't just lock up or get rid of these superpower villains. And if Clark didn't have access to the Phantom Zone, like he didn't have access to it in that movie, how can you just let Zod go? You have to take him out, because if not, he's as strong as you, he fights better than you, and he won't stop hurting these people that you're trying to protect. So in this movie, knowing that it is just essentially like a one shot, that's what they call them in the comics, where it's just a one and done type of story. Knowing it's a one shot lets me know that I can go into it not having any expectations. My expectations are super low. Seeing this trailer has made my expectations a little bit higher, but meaning the expectations of I don't need it to be right off the comic. I need a good Superman movie, and I think that James Gunn is going to be able to give us that. I like his Guardians, what he's done with the Guardians, Creature Commandos. So far, that's a great show. If you haven't watched that, go watch it. It's very cool. I think James Gunn has the right mindset with what we're doing with comics at this point. It doesn't have to be page for page, line for line for what we've seen in the pages. Those things are always going to be there, so we can go to them if we want to, but it doesn't have to be that. And even when you watch the Marvel movies, I don't understand how people love the Marvel movies but then would be upset at the James Gunn rendition or even the Zack Snyder rendition. None of that stuff is right off the page none of it is a one for one. It's very close, but none of it is a one for one. I'm a huge Thanos fan, so when the Thanos of the movies of the MCU is not the same Thanos of the comics, they're completely different animals, 1000%. So it's called, did you give a good representation of the Mad Titan? You did. So, okay, I can take it as it is. This looks like it's going to be a good representation of Superman, of Guy Gardner. I mean, that Mr. Terrific shot when he's blocking all the rays and everything. Oh, man, the Hawk Girl looks like she's about to smack somebody. And then Guy Gardner looking like he could potentially bind Superman in some kind of way with his constructs. That's classic Guy Gardner that thinks he's just the best of the best of the best. I can't wait to see Superman possibly humble him. Oh, it's going to be so good. And the cool thing about it is we don't even know. Like, even seeing that big kaiju that it looks like he's fighting, or it could be Parasite. Anyone who knows comics knows that Superman fights a character called Parasite, and Parasite absorbs powers. So that big blob looking thing easily could be Parasite, as a matter of fact. I didn't even think about that until I started just saying it. But yeah, it could be Parasite, and that is cool. Superman has such a rich mythos to draw from. It doesn't always have to be Lex Luthor. It doesn't always have to be Brainiac. And some of the best Superman stories are told with these B, C, and D-list characters. Superman is a man of the people. So it doesn't have to be always the same, oh, I'm fighting Lex Luthor and all this other stuff. Or it really can be a mirror to what the world is, where you're fighting this big billionaire corporate guy like Lex Luthor, and standing up for the small person, you know, coming from humble beginnings, even though you are a demigod, essentially. I can't wait to see what James Gunn does with this and what comes after, because that's what it is. This movie is planting a seed for something that's going to come after this. And if DC simply just plants the seed, you don't have to catch up with Marvel. You don't have to match what Marvel has done or is doing, because Marvel's doing some great things. I can't wait to see what they have in store. But all you have to do, DC, is plant a good seed and watch it grow into something beautiful. That's it. We don't care about the past. Some people do. I don't. I don't care about the past. I care about the now. So it looks like what he's doing now, and it comes out in my birthday month of July. I cannot wait. But the now is what's important. And now DC looks like they are taking a turn for building something that's going to last another 15, 20, 30 plus years. Superman, again, the first movie came out back in, like, the Christopher Reeve movie came out in the 70s, and that changed the world when it dropped. It really, really changed the world. Now, James Gunn's movie is not going to have that same impact, because we've seen so many superhero things, and some people still claim superhero fatigue. I'm not in that group. Give it all to me. Give me all the shows. Give me all the movies. You can make a musical. I don't care what you do. Just make it good. At this point, just make it good. And I think that this Superman trailer looks great. It looks super, as a matter of fact. So with that being the case, that is my thoughts on this Superman trailer. Please let me know what you think in the comments. I would love to talk all things nerdy and geeky with you, especially when it comes to Superman. Your likes, your dislikes. We don't have to agree. We just have to be respectful of each other's opinion, and it's okay to disagree. But I would love to hear what you have to say. So sound off. As always, like, share, subscribe, all of the YouTube and social media things. If you're looking for some of my actual art, not only can you find it on here, but you can find me at antonio.clark.art on all the social medias. And with that being the case, as always, be good to yourself, be good to others, go be super.